There's been a lot of talk about jailing corrupt bankers and whatever else, but you've decided that those who won't be paying their TV licences won't be going to jail anymore.
Yeah, I was, I suppose, saying in my own speech that there are certain ways politics can change things for the better. And I think one example is, last year was 54 people went to prison because they couldn't pay their television licence, and it's costing us €90,000 every year for each prison place. And I just don't think it makes sense for us to end up with that number of people in that situation. So there's a change in the broadcasting bill, which is trying to make sure we get the money in the licence fee, but try and keep people out of the courts and keep people out of the prison, because that's not a good measure of success.
So what's the alternative then?
No, it's a complicated process where you can actually, rather than going through that whole court system, pay off your fine. It actually allows it to go outside the court route. And a lot of these people, when they're stuck in this situation, they end up in court, they don't have the money to pay the fine. Once they're in the courts, they're in that system that they can't then get out of. Much better to avoid that whole process and give them the alternative of paying money off quickly and keeping them out of prison, keeping licence fee income coming in, and keeping the state and getting the state to save a lot of money as well.
And what's the timescale for this to be enacted?
Well, the bill's going through in the next week or two, so it should be enacted within a number of months.
Minister, you also put your hands up and admitted that you made mistakes, the government made mistakes in implementing the budget cuts last year. Probably the first member of the Cabinet to actually do that and say that. You've also said you learned from those mistakes. Is it more than just the mistakes of the budget cuts? Was there other mistakes made by government?
Listen, we all make mistakes, and you'd be stupid if you didn't acknowledge that and learn from them. But I think particularly in this time, people maybe out there have a sense that, the measures haven't been done, haven't been balanced, or haven't been fair, and that's a perception. And we have to change that by making sure now in the further cuts we make that it is fair, that there is actually a balance, so that those who can pay most do pay more, that those who are most in need are affected least. And I think if that's one of the lessons I think I would have learned in the last 6 or 8 months in terms of how we make the cutbacks or how we introduce them. And there's going to be no easy options in this. No one's going to be happy in terms of some of the scale of the cutbacks, the scale of the taxes we're going to have to raise are not easy. It's not going to be popular or very easy to do. But I think we have to do it, and I think maybe if we can learn the lessons from last autumn and do it in a way that wins public support, or that's seen that it's necessary and it's done in a fair and balanced way, then maybe that would be a lesson well learned.
So just one last thing. Colin McCarthy seemed to indicate that the budget date was definitely April 2nd. Is that?
Well, it's going to be there. I mean, it has to be in that sort of time frame, yes, because I think we're committed to make a decision before the end of this month, and I think it should be wrong to not get it out very quickly now.
So was he just taking an estimation, or would he know?
You'd have to ask Colin. All right. Thanks,
Thanks, Mr.
Thanks, Mr.
Cheers.